And welcome back here to Norfolk, Nebraska. We are in between games here. The Northeast Thunder taking on the World Baseball Showcase Colts. Brandon Axum, Saul Soltero with you for all the action. We just saw the 13-year-olds take place. The Thunder, they dominated 15-3 the final score. It'll be interesting to see what the 14-year-olds have to offer us.
It was good stuff, good game. The Colts left some outs on in the field. It came back to haunt them a little bit. But to Northeast Thunder credit, they put the ball in play. They moved the runners around. They created a little bit of havoc on the base paths, which caused the Colts to make some mistakes. So it was a good game for Northeast. I'm pretty sure that the Colts would have a few things to work on, have a few things to talk about tonight. But overall, it was a good night. You only went 5 innings. Of course, the run rule kind of bounced in there. But, I was pleased with what I saw. You get to see baseball on a Monday night in Northeast Nebraska, and I don't think you can beat that.
In between games, we just have a few more minutes till first pitch. They're getting the field ready. We'll take another quick break and be ready for more baseball on News Channel Nebraska.
My name is Michaela Small. I work at Faith Regional Physician Services at Humphrey Family Medicine, and I am a family nurse practitioner. My care philosophy ever since I started nursing, my favorite one has always been patients don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that really embodies who I am as a provider. I can treat your chronic conditions as well as your acute illnesses. I think it's a common misconception in rural medicine that we're only there for the acute stuff, but we're also there for the long term with all of your health conditions. I'm really excited to be a rural healthcare provider. I think that was my goal from the get-go. I love living in a small town, and so in order to make small town thrive, we need different services, and I am excited to be somebody to bring in the medical and healthcare service to the community which I live and work.
Okay, that's it. Done. Stop. Partnership. It's more than a handshake in a farm field. These are cliches and conventions, and we're here to break them. We want to do the work that needs doing, to take on your challenges together. Let us help move your operation forward. We promise to be the partner you need, not the one you're used to. Honest.
I'm Dr. Tim Davey. I work at Norfolk Family Medicine with Faith Regional Physician Services in Norfolk, Nebraska. One of the things that I feel like my patients can expect from me is that I really will listen to them. I will pay attention to not only what their needs are, but to whatever degree they want, how they fit into the context of their family, which is also unique as well. So I really try to craft what I do to the patient and to their family the way an artisan would create something. My role is to collaborate with them, to help them understand the kinds of decisions that will make them healthy, that will make their families healthy. So there's a trust factor in that relationship that's very powerful in actually helping them to make good choices.
Considering a suspension lift kit or leveling kit for your truck or Jeep? T.O. Haas Tire can help you rise above whatever lies across your path with lift kits by BDS and Zone, backed by the best warranties in the business. Our hardcore 4x4 division carries and installs lifts, lockers, winches, springs, shocks, everything you need to make your 4x4 stand out in a crowd. So go ahead and attack those trails and rivers with the help of T.O. Haas Tire.
T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
Determination, hard work, patience, and persistence. These are characteristics that make a champion. These same characteristics make a great Nebraskan.
Midwest Bank proudly supports and congratulates the athletes that have accomplished the honor to compete in the state track meet.
We are also there for the Nebraskans that have fought the flood, cleaned up after the devastation, and answered the call when others were in need.
Communities coming together.
Athletes giving it all.
That is Nebraska strong.
You can always bank on Nebraskans.
And welcome back here to Veterans Memorial Field in Norfolk. Happy signs on the field, still in between games here for the Northeast Thunder taking on the World Baseball Showcase Colts. 13-year-olds just wrapped up, 14-year-olds getting ready to go, but Saul, you see the joy that baseball brings. It's a cool experience, a game that was created for the sole purpose of this WBS Colts team that was coming through the area, and it is a special moment for both teams and both squads to participate in, players from all walks.
Really cool to see the camaraderie with the kids. You know, they're playing ball, they're having a good time, they're smiling out there. I know it didn't come out on the right side for the Colts, certainly, but you know, it looks like the parents are enjoying themselves. The kids certainly are. It's a thrill to say, you know, at 13 years old, that they got to play in an international competition, which this is exactly what this is. Certainly showcasing their talents and late in the summer in Northeast Nebraska, but international competition coming to Norfolk, Nebraska late in July. I don't think you can beat that, and I think everybody around the ballpark. And that said, there's such a nice crowd here tonight. Lots of support, lots of sponsors involved. So just a great night altogether, and I'm happy that I'm here.
And the sun's starting to set. Things are cooling off, and it's cueing us for the second game of this doubleheader. We'll take a quick break, be back with more baseball.
At Cornhusker Nissan, bragging is not our style, but that doesn't mean our customers can't.
Everyone was friendly, no high pressure, was open to my needs as to what was really best for me.
Professional, kind, polite, altogether perfect.
Great customer care before and after the sale.
Great price and awesome car buying experience. Wish all dealerships treated customers like Cornhusker Nissan in Norfolk, Nebraska.
Let us make your visit a memorable one at Cornhusker Nissan.
With the challenges our nation faces as the consumption of gasoline increases, the strategic location of Husker Ag allows this ethanol plant to produce nearly 80 million gallons a year, which requires almost 30 bushels of corn a year. Access to rail distribution and centered in a productive growing area east of Plainview on Highway 20, Husker Ag creates jobs, has on-farm pickup of corn, and supports area schools and organizations. Husker Ag LLC, helping communities grow and proud to be part of Nebraska's production of ethanol.
Determination, hard work, patience, and persistence. These are characteristics that make a champion. These same characteristics make a great Nebraskan.
Midwest Bank proudly supports and congratulates the athletes that have accomplished the honor to compete in the state track meet.
We are also there for the Nebraskans that have fought the flood, cleaned up after the devastation, and answered the call when others were in need.
Communities coming together.
Athletes giving it all.
That is Nebraska strong.
You can always bank on Nebraskans.
Need high-speed internet? Want the best in TV programming? There's no need to make countless calls to 1-800 numbers to get the services you want. Get both TV and internet with just one call to me, Wes, at Satellite Central. Everyone's needs are different, and we can help you find the best option for high-speed internet. And we've been providing TV programming from Dish and DirecTV for over 20 years. We have a local team of installers that you know and can trust. So make one call to us at Satellite Central.
Nebraska is prime country for farming corn, beans, and now wind energy. For landowners interested in hosting a wind turbine, this doesn't mean giving up a lot of land. A wind turbine and its access drive will only occupy about 1/2 of an acre, leaving the rest of the land usable for world-class Northeast Nebraska farming. That half-acre used to harvest the wind will also help educate school children and improve area roads with additional tax revenue. To learn more, email haystack@tradewindenergy.com. Sponsored by Tradewind Energy.
Need high-speed internet? Want the best in TV programming? There's no need to make countless calls to 1-800 numbers to get the services you want. Get both TV and internet with just one call to me, Wes, at Satellite Central. Everyone's needs are different, and we can help you find the best option for high-speed internet. And we've been providing TV programming from Dish and DirecTV for over 20 years. We have a local team of installers that you know and can trust. So make one call to us at Satellite Central.
At first base, Brooks Kneifel.
And welcome back to Norfolk here at Veterans Memorial Field for the second game of our doubleheader between the Northeast Thunder and the World Baseball Showcase Colts. Brandon Axelman, Saul Soltero with you for all of the action. And this game is presented by Tradewind Energy. A wind turbine and its axis drive will only occupy about 1/2 of an acre, leaving the rest of land usable for world-class Northeast Nebraska farming. You don't have to give up a lot of land to host a wind turbine. Find out more at tradewindenergy.com. Teams are warming up. We just saw the 13-year-olds. Northeast Thunder got the 15-3 victory. For those of you who have just tuned in for the 14-year-old game, here's the rundown. The Northeast Thunder is an all-star team comprised of players pretty much from Northeast Nebraska, some Omaha players mixed in as well. They are playing a team that is international. They have players from Australia, Guam, Dubai, Qatar. And what this team does, Saul, is they come to the United States, they landed in LA, and they have 16 games to play in 17 days, and they travel from LA every day. They make a stop to play a game, and they continue their journey all the way to New York, playing baseball all along the way. It's a very cool program, and it just so happens that Norfolk is their stop tonight as a part of this tour.
So cool to watch, you know, just where did the concept come from? I wish they would have had something like that when I was younger. I would have loved to have done it. I know the price tag is a little bit hefty. I think they said they charge the kids $4,000 and they have to pay for their own flights, but what an experience if you can afford to do it. Lifelong memories, I guarantee you. These kids have been up on the Continental Divide, Las Vegas, Nevada, and they'll end the year in New York watching the Yankees play. So what a great 18 days on the road for these Colts players and their families.
So the Colts are going to start at the plate.
Starting shortstop,
And it's Caleb Rukabar at the plate for the Colts. His first pitch is officially underway at 8:15 p.m.
0-1 on Caleb.
Hayden Magnuson on the hill for the Thunder, and Hayden has an array of pitches. The kid knows the strike zone. He's got a nice velocity to his fastball. He's a fastball, curveball change guy. He'll mix his pitches well. He works fast on the mound. It's going to be fun to watch.
We were touting the international pedigree of this team, Caleb Rukabar. He's the only one that's from America. It's boring. He's from Portland, Oregon. What's going on, Caleb? You're supposed to be from way across the Atlantic somewhere.
That's right.
Nice comebacker, though, handled by the pitcher Magnuson for out number one.
Magnuson throws him out at first to bring out first out. Up to bat, our right fielder, Ty Spalding.
Yeah, Magnuson's not the kind of kid that's going to beat himself, you know, by throwing a lot of balls. He's not going to throw a lot of pitches in the dirt. He's going to pitch up in the count. He's going to work hard to get hitters out. He likes to use the count in his favor, and he likes to get early contact out.
That brings Ty Spalding at the plate, who is from Australia, specifically Perth, Australia. Got a piece of that one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I find it really interesting that this field is so well manicured. It's just a beautiful facility. But if you notice, they have the grass lines, and you don't see a lot of that anymore. You usually see the dirt lines up and down from third to first base. But this is an all-grass infield with just the cutout being from third base to first base along the backside of the lines there. So you get the first base, and the third base line is in the grass, which is interesting because you'd think that that would, you know, be really relevant where if the team was willing to play some small ball and put the ball in play, that the grass would kind of chew it up a little bit and they could maybe move the bases on somebody that can bunt the baseball. So we'll see. It hasn't been done yet, but you never know.
Well, I don't know if we can blame the grass for it, but how we ended that 13-year-old game, it bounced on the foul side of the foul line and then bounced back in play after a couple of spins, which was an interesting thing that kind of defied logic.
Right about then, I thought I saw Gopher poke his head up, so that might have something to do with it too. But no, this field is in extremely good shape, and I know the local college team that qualified for the National Junior College World Series this year, they play their home games here, so it's a very nice facility. And if you haven't been out in the Norfolk area, come see this ball field. Come see a game out here. It's an awesome complex.
Well, Spalding went down swinging. That brings up Ryan Clark to the plate.
And as advertised, Magnuson working fast, throwing strikes, got 2 quick outs.
And that one might have caught, did catch part of him. So Clark gets to first with 2 outs. Gibran Mirzadze coming up. He is from Dubai. So 2 down here. Top of the first. That one inside.
First pitch for the ball, 1 ball and no strikes.
I got to go to the Colts practice this afternoon, and I got a chance to talk to Murtaza's dad. I believe his name is pronounced Mofus, and just a neat guy. They make their home in Dubai. He's telling me some of the cultural stuff there, and telling me how everything that's relevant there is indoors, and there included is an indoor skiing facility where you can ice or you can snow ski indoors in Dubai. I don't exactly know what the price tag of that is, but when I get home, I'm going to talk to my wife about it and see what we can do. But yeah, I just said that the baseball fields and the outdoor grass facilities are really at a premium over there, but there's a lot of other things that they do, and most of it is indoor because of the weather.
We have a runner sliding in safe to second. You referenced how they landed in Los Angeles. It was 100 degrees, and they said, hey, this is great. It's cool here compared to where we're from.
That's exactly right. You said they dropped 20 degrees by landing in 100 in Los Angeles. So it was nice and cool. When they left Dubai, it was 120 degrees. So can you imagine?
Well, there, Murtaza is rung up, and nobody scores. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on base in the top of the first. We'll be back on News Channel Nebraska.
I am Kelsey Kreinert, and I am a family nurse practitioner. I currently practice in the Faith Regional Physician Services Pierce Family Medicine Clinic. I care for the whole family, and I thoroughly enjoy family practice, but I do have special interests in women's healthcare and pediatrics. I believe that providing high-quality care often requires a team-based approach. We're very fortunate that Faith Regional has a wide network of specialists right here in Northeast Nebraska who are willing to lend their expertise and provide top-notch care for our patients right here at home. I would like patients to know that I will take the time to listen to their story. I will take the time to get to know them individually, and it is truly my honor to earn their trust and to have the privilege of providing care for them.
Bottom of the first inning coming up here. Northeast Thunder going to get their first crack at the plate after holding the WBS Colts scoreless in the top of the first. Brandon Axelmit, Saul Soltero with you for all of the action. Colin Bianchi on the mound for the Colts. It's going to be Cole Eaton, Eli Small, and Ben Bramer up for the Thunder. Good first half of an inning for Hayden Magnuson on the mound. 2 strikeouts.
He really did pitch well. You know, he came right after the hitters. He did have the one get away from him with 2 outs there, and he just barely nicked the batter there, but certainly didn't let it bother him. Came right back to strike out the next guy. So nice, clean, efficient inning for Hayden.
Running down this lineup for Norfolk. Brooks Kneifel of Wayne, Jake Borgman, Norfolk, Kyle Luer from Norfolk. And there's a trio of Omaha players: Cole Eaton, Eli Small, Ben Bryant. Some very highly touted talent from from Omaha, excuse me. Colby Anderson from Pierce, Zion Gangweir of Norfolk, Ben Bramer of Pierce, and Hayden Magnuson of Pierce. First up is Eaton of Omaha. Talking to the coaching staff, specifically Jarrett Mills, Cole Eaton, Eli Small. They're on the top Omaha team in the city, the Omaha Tigers. And they're going to Elkhorn South, which is a very, very solid baseball program at the high school ranks. And that'll be an air to start things as Eaton reaches. Doesn't matter how you get on, leadoff runner's on. It's always a good
Well,
thing.
hit it kind of hot. You know, shortstop kind of got in between bounces there and misplayed it just a little bit. So, yeah, leadoff guys aboard. And kind of something interesting with our pitcher, Bianchi, there. He goes out of the stretch. So he's a pitcher that, regardless if there's a runner on base or not, he goes out of the stretch, which I see a lot of guys do it in the major leagues. I know my son-in-law, who's with the Oakland A's, does that. Pitches out of the stretch regardless if there's a guy on base or not. So some of these kids just feel more comfortable. There's a little less mechanical flaws when they start out of the stretch. And so Mr. Bianchi is one of those that just throws every pitch out of the stretch.
For those at home that aren't aware, your son-in-law, Jake Diekman?
Jake Diekman, yes, he started the year with the Kansas City Royals. And on Saturday morning, found out that he was traded to the Oakland A's. So his family, my daughter and Jake and their young daughter, are going to make their home in Northern California for the rest of the season, and it's kind of nice. They jump right into the playoff race. I think they're no less than half game back in the wild card, so they're looking to make the playoffs. They got a good team, good young team, got some pitching, got some good sluggers, young sluggers on the team, so we're kind of excited to see what the future might have for those guys.
That's the only negative, if you call it that. A little bit farther of a trip to see the family, but you get to go to California, so.
You know, you got that right, and we're trying to figure that out. But ironically, the next 2 or 3 series they have is in Chicago and in Kansas City. So they're coming into our neighborhood. So I guess that's their team's way of apologizing to my wife and I for taking Jake and the baby so far away. But it doesn't matter. You know, you're at the big league level, and it's a good game of baseball there, and they're in the hunt, and there's nothing more you could ask for.
Egg play at first, and Ty goes to the runner, rather, and that looks like that's exactly what it was. So hustle play by Eli Small. Everyone's safe.
Looked like Eli got out of the box nice, and he needed every inch of that stride. As soon as he put the ball in play, he got up the line, and if he would have even looked at that ball for 1 second, he would have been out. But just goes to show you guys, especially young players, run everything out. You never know.
So Ben Bramer at the plate, runners at the corners. This one could be trouble.
Oy. Well.
And
once again, the Colts are starting off in the field just leaving outs. That probably should have been the 3rd out, if I'm not mistaken. All 3 plays should have been made, and you know, as the pitcher, Bianchi's doing everything he can out there. He's throwing a lot of strikes and just hasn't got a break yet, and results in nobody out and a run scored.
so Small ends up on second, Bramer on first, and yeah, that was Eaton who came around to score. And so now that brings up Brooks Kneifel. Wayne product, 1 ball, no strikes here, no down. Foul down the third base line.
It also looks like the Northeast Thunder has kind of got the scouting report, if you will, because it looks like they're going to put some pressure on the base paths on the Colts there and make them make a play here. And so far they have not been up to the task. But if they're going to get through this game, they're going to have to make some plays out in the field. And looks like Northeast is going to run the bases hard and make them make a play out there.
There you see Bianchi stepping off. One ball, 1 strike.
You know, looks right away. Now, Bianchi things didn't go his way the first couple of plays, but boy, he looks like he's just getting right back up there. He's staring the catcher down, getting his sign, working fast. It looks like he's bowing his neck. Looks like he's the right guy to get through an inning here because he really wants the ball and he really wants to throw it over the plate, get these out. It's nice to see after the team made a couple of errors and see a pitcher come right back and challenge the hitters.
3-1 here. And that'll load the bases.
Up the bat for Norfolk. Norfolk's pitcher, Hayden Magnuson for the Northeast Thunder.
Hayden Magnuson.
Well, you talk about the ultimate help your own cause here. Young Hayden threw a perfect inning there. I guess not perfect, hit a guy, but he got through it unscathed. And now he's got an opportunity to help himself out with the bases loaded and nobody out. I believe the score, there he goes. He got the 1 run on the scoreboard there. It's 1-0.
Leadoff runner Cole Eaton came around. This one caught by the third baseman and Flynn Maghan. 1 down, Jack Borgman comes to the plate.
Big Jack Borgman. I tell you what, this kid, he's got a good build to him. He's got good leverage. I was watching him take batting practice a little earlier. If that ball comes in there, this kid's got an opportunity to really turn on it.
They're just finding the outside corner. Nice pitch by Bianchi.
I agree, right on cue. He kind of saw what we might have saw up here, and he said, man, I'm going to stay away from this kid. But let's see what he throws second here.
I went inside on him.
It's a good pitch. You know, it doesn't matter the velocity you throw. If you can hit your spots, you can crawl underneath those hands a little bit like what happened there. Heck, now you got an 0-2 count.
Was this one in play? And nice scoop by first baseman Brandon Eberle.
Well done. Jack put the ball in play. He was down 0-2, so he put the ball in play and scored the run, but it was a nice play. The Colts needed that. They need to start making outs on routine plays, and that's certainly a good start. It was picked nicely out of the dirt by the first baseman.
Eli Small did come around to score, so 2-0. Big at bat here for Kyle Lure. 2 down, runners on second and third. Gets him swinging. No balls, 2 strikes.
Looks like Colin Bianchi's starting to mix his pitches a little bit. I think the last 2 were little sliders, maybe little cut fastballs, but something that didn't stay in the zone very long and created just a little bit of problem there at 0-2.
Low and outside, ball 1.
Again, even though the 2 runs have come across the plate, it's going to be very important to leave those other runners out there. If he can get out of this inning after giving up only 2 runs, that's not bad. Give his team a chance on the offensive side.
Off speed, gets Lure, and he does just that.
Well done.
Lure goes down swinging, still 2 runs. No hits, 2 errors, 2 left on base. The Thunder lead 2-0 after 1.
Wind energy means opportunity. Did you know that a local wind energy project would usher in millions of new tax dollars to the county and school taxing districts, and increased funds allow schools to invest in quality education programs, technology, facility development, and even renovations? Funds can be used as needed to improve our schools and the learning environment for our children. To learn more about how wind energy is good for Northeast Nebraska schools, email haystack@tradewindenergy.com. Sponsored by Tradewind Energy.
Need high-speed internet? Want the best in TV programming? There's no need to make countless calls to 1-800 numbers to get the services you want. Get both TV and internet with just 1 call to me, Wes, at Satellite Central. Everyone's needs are different, and we can help you find the best option for high-speed internet. And we've been providing TV programming from Dish and DirecTV for over 20 years. We have a local team of installers that you know and can trust. So make 1 call to us at Satellite Central.
At Shop Easy, we like to make all ages smile. From farmers to truckers to Shop Easy future customers, we make sure we have a large selection of food, snacks, beverages, and incidentals to make your break in your day convenient and courteous. With easy parking 24/7, we can accommodate the night shift, the early morning workers, fishermen, and travelers. Shop Easy south of Yankton is owned and operated by the Santee Sioux Nation.
And welcome back, getting ready to go here. Top of the second, Brandon Axmith, Saul Soltero with you. I'd like to remind you that this inning and our pregame for this game was made possible by Norfolk Auto Center GM pregame show, brought to you by the Norfolk Auto Center, Northeast Nebraska's volume leader, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple always. 2 balls, 1 strike here to Flynn McGahan, leading things off for the WBS Colts. Strike 2.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes on McGahan.
You mentioned it's all positive news for the Colts after getting in a real big jam, only giving up 2 runs. It's something they can feel good about here and as they look to try to cut into this.
Sure they can. It's something you can build on defensively.
And that throw just sailing over the first baseman, and this is also something the Colts can feel good about. Leading things off with a runner on second.
That's right. You never know. I tell you, there's a lot of at-bats left in this game.
On an overthrow and an error by the third baseman, Jack Workman.
So Brendan Eberle now at the plate for the Colts.
First baseman, Brendan Eberle.
Let's see how Magnuson responds here. As probably should have been an out. Nice, easy play. Just overthrew it a little bit. Maybe got the gyps, but let's see. Got a man on second here. Let's see if Hayden Magnuson can pitch around this error here.
Eberle, also from Dubai.
First pitch ball.
Takes a first pitch ball.
First baseman, Brandon Eberle.
Puts this one in play.
Well done, young man. Well done. Came right back, got the ball hit to him, made a nice play. Had time to get it across. He did look the runner back. The runner didn't respond. That'll come with age, where he'll be able to make a pump over there or make a jab step over there. But well done, just the process of making an error on the first chance and getting a second chance and throwing the runner out. So, again, well done over there at third base by Borbin.
Now the pitcher, Colin Bianchi, at the plate.
First pitch ball.
Low and outside, ball 1.
Third base with 1 out.
These Colts are really getting around on it, a lot going down that third baseline.
Well, and again, Magnuson throws a lot of strikes. He's not overpowering, but he's sneaky fast with his fastball, and if he can throw it under the hands there, so Mr. Boardman better be ready. He's going to get some opportunities at third base.
That one, Peyton, the low side of the zone, making it a 1-2 count.
It's nice to see all these Northeast Thunder pitchers. They just work so fast. They just get the baseball and get right back up on the hill.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The starting pitcher, Colin Bianchi.
Here's the 1-2, gets him. Strikeout number 3 for Magnuson.
That pitch from Hayden Magnuson, it looked like it had a little funk on it. I'm not exactly sure what it did, but it wasn't where the hitter thought it was going to be when he swung at it. It stayed relatively true, but maybe it was off speed or maybe just a little bit of a slide to it. But nice pitch, and again, he's got 2 outs. Let's see if he can leave that runner at third base here.
Caleb Garvin at the plate for the Colts. Garvin from Canberra, Australia, gets that one in the hole, and that'll score 1. The Colts are on the board. A little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, but he does make it to first.
Run scores on a single.
I think it was Willie Banks that coined the term, hit them where they ain't, and that one certainly was that. It was nicely hit and just happened to find a hole on the right side there.
That brings Mason Daniel to the plate, also from Dubai.
It's amazing. I would certainly like to talk at length to Coach Fish about the process of getting these kids from Dubois. It's crazy how many kids are in this program from that area, which you wouldn't exactly think would be a baseball hotbed. But again, this is America's game that has gone worldwide, and these kids want the opportunity to not only play baseball at this level, but possibly play in college or even maybe even in pro ball. So it's really cool to see these international players from these countries that you would never think or associate with baseball.
We did talk about it in the first game, but for our new viewers, Steve Fish is the head coach for the World Baseball Showcase Colts. He's a scout for the Red Sox, and his territory is in all these areas where you're seeing these players from on this team right here: Australia, Guam, Eastern Asia. Those are all part of what part of his job description is to find talent. And then part of his job is also to do World Baseball Showcases here in the summer with these youth players. It nearly beats that one out, but not quite fast enough, so the Colts get one back. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error. 1 left on base. It's 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the second.
I'm Angie Smutney. I'm a family nurse practitioner at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine in Norfolk. It's becoming more and more important to focus on preventative medicine, and that's why primary care, which is what we do in family medicine, is so important, because we want to try to prevent things like a heart attack and a stroke and diabetes and things like that through testing, whether it be lab results or just checking your blood pressure once a year, to make sure that we don't need to do more for you to help prevent certain things from happening. I know what it's like to be a busy mom and a busy working mom. I'm always willing to work with people, especially in the rural agricultural community with farmers. I know that they're not going to want to be seen in April and September and October when their schedules are the busiest, and I'm always willing to work with that and move things around so that they're getting seen in a timely manner when it works for them, and also when we need to see them to keep them healthy.
At Norfolk Auto Center, they work hard to give their customers the best value around. Plus, they offer a 5-day money-back on any vehicle priced over $5,000 and a 30-day exchange period on any pre-owned vehicle over $5,000, so you can buy with confidence. Call or stop in today. They are conveniently located at 1123 South 20th Street in Norfolk, or shop them online at norfolkchevy.com.
Well, we'd like to remind you that it's time to enjoy the game. This message brought to you by United Healthcare. Enjoy the game as we are getting ready for the bottom of the second inning. The Northeast Thunder leading the World Baseball Showcase Colts 2-1. Brandon Axelmit, Saul Soltero with you. 2-1 your score on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard as Colby Anderson leads things off here for the Thunder.
Well, we're out of the chutes with a little bit better of a game here than we saw. The ball kicked around a little bit in the first game here, and both teams kind of looks like they got rid of their jitters a little bit and starting to make some plays. Pitchers are throwing strikes, so this game is moving right along.
2 balls, no strikes to start things.
2 balls and no strikes to the second baseman, Colby Anderson.
This one put in play. And throw is off the mark. Anderson will make it to second.
Colby Anderson reaches second base as an error by the third baseman. Brings up Ben Bryant, right fielder for the Northeast Thunder.
Ben Bryant now at the plate. Bryant, another one of those Omaha players on this team.
Looked like the third baseman scooped that ball up nice and clean there. We might have rushed the throw just a little bit and kind of threw it errantly. First baseman couldn't handle the ball. But again, as Coach Bingham once said, there's no such thing as a bad throw. So that first baseman should have abandoned his footwork there and just blocked that dude. And I know it's easier said than done, but, these young kids, they'll learn. And that's part of the baseball IQ, part of the baseball process.
First time we've seen a bunt try to get put down here. I'm excited to hear more of these coaching tips, though, as this broadcast goes along from what you learned in your time in college and in the majors.
Well, again, as an old guy and in hindsight, it's easy to say what should be done, but at the moment, it's really hard to do. And you got to give these kids a lot of credit for, trying to make a stab at that ball, keep his foot on the bag, and hope that darn thing goes into that big peach basket. But, a lot of times it's just not possible. And sometimes, just like the catcher with the ball in the dirt, you have to kind of program yourself to abandon ship and block that thing. And so, again, it'll come with innings, it'll come with repetitions, and they'll be fine.
That one just a little high on the 0-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Right fielder Ben Bryant.
Your thought process over at first base is that possibly you're going to hold your foot there and just backhand that thing and make a great play. But sometimes you see yourself, especially late in the game, where you know that you're probably going to get your chin a little skinned on that one and knock that thing down. And again, they'll learn. It's a laid back way to learn here late in July. We're a showcase here. We're on an exhibition side. But again, if it was the state tournament, we'd probably need that ball stopped.
Reaches for a foul. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A 2-2 count here to Bryant.
Baseball has really evolved, Brandon. We watch these kids and the talent level, the amount of coaching they're getting. Steve Fish, who played professionally with the Angels organization. He's a scout with the Boston Red Sox. He played collegiately at University of Nebraska. Just teaching the kids the right way to do it, teaching them how to get through things, how to use their feet, how to pitch ahead, how to work the count in the box. I mean, all these things that are certainly going to be valuable to those kids as they play on in their baseball future, whether it be just at the next level or possibly high school or maybe even in college or potentially pro ball. It's certainly, the game really doesn't change once you learn the basis of it and the basics of how to make the plays. It stays with you.
Certainly a far cry from my baseball experience, where Dad was the coach, played once a week at YMCA, had a good time, and one practice a week, and that was about the extent of it.
Hit the Dairy Queen, rain, moon, or shine, win or lose, and by the time you got done at Dairy Queen, everybody was a winner, right?
And I will stand by the fact that we were like 5-time undefeated YMCA champs. So
is that right?
I got
a
so
documentation of such, or is it just your word?
Oh, there's trophies somewhere.
Is there?
That the parents bought.
Yeah. Orange slices and trophies. That's the way it is down there at the Y League.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down to Zion Gangwer, the extra hitter here. Puts this up the middle. Bianchi grabs it. Runner does come across to score.
Boy, I'm not 100% sure Bianchi knew that there was 1 out there. I ran that ball to first base thinking I think that was the 3rd out, and I think Coach is kind of, hey, Coach Fish is going, hey, buddy, that was only the 2nd out on that run, scored easily, and it probably shouldn't on a comebacker to the pitcher for a guy to be able to walk home from 3rd base. So, again, just part of that baseball IQ.
Brings it back to the top of the order. Cole Eaton reached on air in the 1st.
With the efficiency and how easily he made that play, be honest with you, I thought there was 2 outs as well. So, yeah, I don't know what he saw or what he probably thought was going on there. But, again, it was only the 2nd out, so it cost him a run. And, this is just another learning, something for them to learn from, is you have to know the count, know the situation, know the outs. Sometimes the scoreboard's not even right. And so you got dads, you talk about your YMCA league, you got dads running the scoreboards and, umpires doing what they can, but you really need to keep your head in the game and know the situation.
That one finds the hole between 1st and 2nd. Base knock for Cole Eaton. Yeah, that's one thing that they always try to hammering into your heads, just where do you go in every situation if the ball comes to you? And that can't be understated, the importance of that.
I can remember even at the professional level, doing a lot of situational infield where the outfielders would run the bases at full speed and just the coaches would put the infield in every possible situation and see how they react to it, including pickoffs and rundowns and those type of things that you never really get a chance to work on.
Pretty decent throw. Eaton probably was there on time, though, but hey, there you go. You had the shortstop knocking the ball down there. So going where the ball was, it was a good throw. It was a good block.
Yep. Again, it looked like the the third baseman or whoever fielded that, whether it be the second baseman or the third baseman, cut in front of the bag a little bit, and then he had to reach behind him to make the tag. Again, a real solid throw from the catcher.
Runner now in scoring position. Eli Small also reached on air in the first. That one catching the low portion of the zone.
2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, Eli looks like he's right up on that plate there and almost challenging the pitcher to throw it in there on his hands. And Bianchi did it. I'm not sure Eli thought he was ever going to see that pitch, and he's hoping to see it again.
That one behind him.
Well, like I said, he's got to adjust the scope a little bit, and that ball will be right down the middle. He's surprised. Wasn't sure where that was going.
3-1.
It was an old saying we learned early in our professional career. I had the opportunity to play for legendary pitching coach Jack LeMahieu. Jack had pitched in the big leagues. He threw with the Cardinals in the World Series in '64. He was my first pitching coach, and one of the first things he ever taught me was you have to pitch in to win. You have to be willing to come in on those hands and challenge the hitter with oftentimes what the pitch they're looking for. And, you know, it's tough mindset for these kids to throw a ball that everybody wants to hit, but you have to be willing to run that fastball under the hands, and you got to put a little giddy up on it just enough to get it by. But never forget Jack LeMahieu teaching us you have to be willing to pitch in to win. Ooh, that ball didn't miss by much. I'll tell you what, it had some late break to it.
Like the hustle by Eli down the first baseline.
Brings up Northeast shortstop, Ben Bramer.
I think the catcher stood up a little bit on that because he kind of quit on that and it had a little late bite to it, and I think he shielded the umpire from seeing the pitch.
Ben Bramer now at the plate. Also reached on air.
Boy, Ben's got a nice body to him, doesn't he? Just long and lean. Looks like he's got some extension. Let's see what he can do with it.
Blowing outside.
You know, Bianchi's starting to do a good job of mixing his pitches, kind of moving them in, moving them out a little bit. I know that ball looked pretty enticing. He did what he could to hold his swing there, but just a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Let's see if he can leave those runners out there and get his team a chance to hit.
Double steal is on.
Stolen base.
And so with 2 outs, nobody on. Now they have 2 runners in scoring position and a chance for some more runs to score if Ben Bramer connects.
This is one thing that Coach Steve Fish mentioned, that he was a little worried about the speed of the game on the base paths, and so far Northeast has really exploited that.
And that should score 2. Small rounds third hard, and it's not even going to be a play at the plate. A huge 2-out, 2 RBI single for Ben Bramer.
Ben Bramer scores 2. Bringing our score to 5-1.
And Bianchi's doing a good job. You know, the ball was, you know, could have just barely got under that glove at third. I know it would have had to been a great play to make there, but darn it, those 2 double steals didn't cost him runs here, because that was a ball that was hit sharply and just under the glove at third base. And before you blink, it's 5-1.
Brooks Kneifel at the plate. Drew a walk in the first inning. There's a rope, but just foul.
Umpire was protecting himself, and then he had to make the call there, so that was a bit awkward. He looked a little bit like an extra in one of the ballets there, but he made a good call and a good play to get out of the way of that one, because that ball was hit relatively well.
Quick throw back to first.
Nice play. And I noticed the catcher has a good arm. I mean, he's not afraid to use it. He threw down a couple times between innings, and I kind of noticed that he had a little giddy up on the ball and nice little flip there to first base. And it's only going to get stronger as he gets a little bigger and gets a little more arm strength.
This one back up the middle. Throw is in the dirt, another error, and this is going to cost the Colts. And sliding in safely to home.
Ben Bramer scores.
That's Ben Bramer.
On Brooks Kneiffel's triple.
So again, just another tough break. Making errors hurt you when you have 2 down.
You know, if you're Coach Fish, and of course you're not coaching this, and certainly aren't an advocate for lots of errors in the field, but the kids are in the right spot. They're not making the mental errors. They're making physical errors, and physical errors can be corrected. His kids are playing hard. They're in the right place when the ball comes. It's just a matter of execution, and that will certainly come. Let's not forget they have not played together that long. They landed in Los Angeles on July 23rd, and that's where he met some of these kids for the first time. So let's keep that in mind, where some of these kids have been playing together all summer. The coaches know the players well. They know their strengths. They know their weaknesses. I think Coach Fish is just starting to figure out what his kids can do and who they are. So let's give them a little break here, and they're playing every day, and they're playing hard. They play another doubleheader tomorrow, so they're doing fine. They're going to learn from this, and the experience is going to make them better baseball players. But certainly they're leaving some outs out on the field there where they could be helping the pitcher out. And, again, that'll come.
A real chance here for Beyond Key to limit the damage. Battling against Hayden Magnuson. Gets him swinging. 1 ball, now 2 strikes. Kneifel thought about it on third. Decided to stay at the bag.
Again, I got to talk to, I believe it's Mofis Mutarza, and he's one of the dads coming from Dubois, and he said they met for the first time, some of the teams and some of the teammates, where they had their first practice in San Bernardino on July 23rd. So think about that, guys. That was only a few days ago.
And waiting to see for the call, so I think he did drop it, so.
Yeah, he played it nicely off the bounce, but it got through both of them, and just a little bit of communication issues there with the second baseman and the right fielder, and the ball found its way to the ground between the two of them. Certainly wasn't scorched, but it did produce a run.
So 5 runs now for the Thunder here in the second.
Foul ball. Count goes 0-1 on Jack Borgman.
Out of play. Strike 1, Jack Borgman at the plate.
Here's something I'll bet you didn't see back in the day in the YMCA League, with the kid just about got hit with the baseball there because he was playing a video game in the grass down the right field line. You just don't see a lot of it. At least I don't remember seeing a lot of it, but I guess it's the norm these days.
I'm trying to think if there was Game Boys back then.
You probably had them. I'm almost positive dimes to dollars that we didn't have them.
Thankfully, nobody was hurt by that foul ball, and that's been the case all evening. We'll knock on wood. It stays that way.
Correct, and it's been, a relatively well-played game. I know the Colts have kicked the ball around a little bit, but, certainly they're getting their reps. This game is moving right along. They're getting their at-bats, and everybody it's the greatest thing with these showcases because you can hit, 11, 12 guys. So there's not a lot of guys sitting on the bench. Everybody's engaged. You don't have to wonder when you're going to get into this game. They flex the rules just a little bit so that they make it worth their while.
Look at that throw.
Again, a beautiful throw. What's the catcher there?
It's Clark, Ryan Clark.
Yeah, I mean, the kid's got a good arm. His mechanics are rock solid behind the plate. He gets out of his crouch real quick, and that's the second time where he probably should have had the guy nailed at second base, but shortstop dropped the ball.
Here's another look at the throw. Knew he had a good throw, and Just a tad
See,
disappointed
on
he
the
didn't get the
replay,
out.
I think that he realized he threw a seed down there and probably should have been the third out. He had the walk off, but he had to double back. So, yep, the kid's doing what he can behind the plate. He's handling the pitchers well, and he's certainly making the throws when he's getting the opportunity.
2-2 delivery. This one fouled as well.
Ball fisted foul.
6-1 your score on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard here. Northeast Thunder leading by 5.
Again, the efficiency of putting up 6 runs on 3 hits. We saw it a little bit in the first game.
Chance for the Colts to get out of this one, and Clark, he does get to end the inning and walk it off, just different than the throw.
Kid's doing well, I'm telling you. He's playing hard. He's hustling out there. He's making plays.
So you have 5 more runs on 3 hits, 3 errors. 1 left on base. It's 6-1. 7-1.
My name is Michaela Small. I work at Faith Regional Physician Services at Humphrey Family Medicine, and I am a family nurse practitioner. My care philosophy ever since I started nursing, my favorite one has always been patients don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that really embodies who I am as a provider. I can treat your chronic conditions as well as your acute illnesses. I think it's a common misconception in rural medicine that we're only there for the acute stuff, but we're also there for the long term with all of your health conditions. I'm really excited to be a rural healthcare provider. I think that was my goal from the get-go. I love living in a small town, and so in order to make small town thrive, we need different services, and I'm excited to be somebody to bring in the medical and healthcare service to the community which I live and work.
Okay, that's it. Done. Stop. Partnership. It's more than a handshake in a farm field. These are cliches and conventions, and we're here to break them. We want to do the work that needs doing, to take on your challenges together. Let us help move your operation forward. We promise to be the partner you need, not the one you're used to. Honest.
Welcome back here to Veterans Memorial Field in Norfolk, Nebraska. Thunder leading the Colts 6-1 here in this second game of our doubleheader. This one, the 14-year-olds going at it. Brandon Axman, Saul Soltero with you. Colts with a little bit of work to do. The Thunder got 5 in the second inning, making it 7-1 here. Leading things off for the WBS Colts, James Harmon.
Yeah, they continue to put up those crooked numbers there. First inning, they got a couple runs, and then that inning, they got 5. The Colts, once again, threw the ball around just a little bit. No, that made Hayden Magnuson, their pitcher, sit around a little bit. So let's see what he can do to get his team some outs here.
And Boardman making another play at third base.
Well, there you go. You know, there's the resiliency of a kid where he made, first chance he got, the first opportunity of the night, he threw the ball away. And since then, he's made 2 or 3 very nice plays over at third base. So he got through the error and turned the page on it and doing a good job over there.
I'd like to remind you here on News Channel Nebraska, we are on social media at NCN Sports on Twitter, also NCN Sports Now on Facebook, and even on Instagram. So I know you're all over Instagram. So check us out for photos, highlights, stories, all that good stuff by following us and liking us on social media.
You know, I just never, not even sure. I had to have my daughter and my wife help me print something today off the computer. So I'll get there maybe at some point.
Yeah, you're not far off. That's kind of close.
The way I look at it, if there's something I need to know, they will let me know. And I'm not really interested what Kim Kardashian ate for lunch. So I'm going to stay clear of that for a while.
You know, it's simpler that way. Fly out to right field to start things off here in the top of the third.
Northeast Ben Bryant in right field for out number 1 from James Harmon. Brings up to bat Josh Jamal.
And it's actually out number 2. That was Josh Jamal.
I believe, yes.
So 2 down. And we're back at the top of the order. 1, 2, 3. Side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. A quick one. We'll be back with the bottom of the third coming up.
I'm Dr. Tim Davey. I work at Norfolk Family Medicine with Faith Regional Physician Services in Norfolk, Nebraska. One of the things that I feel like my patients can expect from me is that I really will listen to them. I will pay attention to not only what their needs are, but to whatever degree they want, how they fit into the context of their family, which is also unique as well. So I really try to craft what I do to the patient and to their family the way an artisan would create something. My role is to collaborate with them, to help them understand the kinds of decisions that will make them healthy, that will make their families healthy. So there's a trust factor in that relationship that's very powerful in actually helping them to make good choices.
Considering a suspension lift kit or leveling kit for your truck or Jeep? T.O. Haas Tire can help you rise above whatever lies across your path with lift kits by BDS and Zone, backed by the best warranties in the business. Our hardcore 4x4 division carries and installs lifts, lockers, winches, springs, shocks, everything you need to make your 4x4 stand out in a crowd. So go ahead and attack those trails and rivers with the help of T.O. Haas Tire.
T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
Seven-one your score as we enter the bottom of the third. Northeast Thunder 7, WBS Colts 1 here in the 14-year-old contest. Final game of the doubleheader. It's going to be Lure, Anderson, and Bryant up here for the Northeast Thunder. See if they can add to their 6-run lead.
Is that Bianchi's still out there, it looks like. So, you know, they're getting a little bit of inning production, which is good to see. He hasn't gone his way so far, but he's showing some resiliency. He's still out there, and that's all you could ask for is if your pitcher bows his neck, and after a couple of kind of some adverse innings there, if you will, he's still out there and still throwing strikes.
There's a first pitch strike to Lure. Swing and miss, strike 2.
There you go, young man. Now put him in the book. Are you familiar with that term, Brandon? I know millennial here, so.
Yeah, they didn't have that term in the YMCA.
Is that
Put it in the book with, are you trying to say strikeout? Is that?
There you go.
There we go. Not this time. Will still be an out, though. So
yeah, there you go.
There you go. Fly out to short. Now bring up Colby Anderson. Reached on air in the second inning.
Up for the Thunder, Colby Anderson.
You see the nice catch there by shortstop Rukeber. Low and outside, ball 1.
First pitch of all. The Northeast Colby Anderson.
Now Ryan Clark has gone to the old Benito Santiago stance with the one leg out. I don't know. He's not doing it this pitch, but.
I was going to say, though, I did notice that last pitch, too, and I hadn't seen that before.
He did. You know, there's a couple of other catchers that did it. Some of them did it more often than not. used to manage the Royals. I can't remember what his name was, but he kind of started the whole thing. I know Benito Santiago did it a little bit, but apparently it's more comfortable to get down in that stance, which, boy, I couldn't get down there even at yoga class. But the catchers are so flexible.
Well, there's a good play, third to first.
Nice pick out of the dirt there. Third baseman got rid of it in stride and gets the first out. The second out, excuse me.
That was throw by Flynn McGahan, scoop by Brendan Everly.
Nice play. They got 2 outs here. Kind of efficient with his pitches here, Mr. Bianchi. Maybe he's settling in a little bit. Still has to be able to get the third out.
Ben Bryant at the plate.
Starting him off with a strike.
Nice first pitch by Bianchi.
No balls and 1 strike to Northeast Ben Bryant.
Sure.
Blue thought he was going to die.
Not exactly sure what that hit, but it looked like it kind of took a strange hop. It didn't hug the dirt as it came past the catcher. It might have hit the front of the plate, so it kind of changed directions there.
One ball, 1 strike. Make it 2-1.
2 balls and 1 strike on Northeast Bryant.
Up the middle. Short hop. Another nice grab by the third baseman. 3 up, 3 down for the Colts. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. It's 7-1 as we head to the 4th.
Determination, hard work, patience, and persistence. These are characteristics that make a champion. These same characteristics make a great Nebraskan.
Midwest Bank proudly supports and congratulates the athletes that have accomplished the honor to compete in the state track meet.
We are also there for the Nebraskans that have fought the flood, cleaned up after the devastation, and answered the call when others were in need.
Communities coming together.
Athletes giving it all.
That is Nebraska strong.
You can always bank on Nebraskans.
At Cornhusker Nissan, bragging is not our style, but that doesn't mean our customers can't.
Everyone was friendly, no high pressure, was open to my needs as to what was really best for me.
Professional, kind, polite, altogether perfect.
Great customer care before and after the sale.
Great price and awesome car buying experience. Wish all dealerships treated customers like Cornhusker Nissan in Norfolk, Nebraska.
Let us make your visit a memorable one at Cornhusker Nissan.
With the challenges our nation faces as the consumption of gasoline increases, the strategic location of Husker Ag allows this ethanol plant to produce nearly 80 million gallons a year, which requires almost 30 bushels of corn a year. Access to rail distribution and centered in a productive growing area east of Plainview on Highway 20, Husker Ag creates jobs, has on-farm pickup of corn, and supports area schools and organizations. Husker Ag LLC, helping communities grow and proud to be part of Nebraska's production of ethanol.
All right, there's Coach Emery, baseball coach for Pierce. He is on our Smile Cam, brought to you by Family First Dental, where your family comes first, and it shows in everything they do. Check them out at familyfirstdental.com. Coach Emery and his son. As we now head to the top of the 4th, we'd also like to remind you this game helped made possible by Midwest Bank. Helping you bring this game on News Channel Nebraska. Check them out online on MidwestBank.com to find out more. They are always ready to lend a hand in the communities that they serve.
Looks like we've got a new pitcher out there. We got left-hander. Looks like Brooks Kneifel. Is that it? Brooks Kneifel out there, number 2. Nice, good-looking, long left-hander. Taking over for Hayden Magnuson, who did a great job. Left 1 hit, 1 run. I believe the run was unearned.
Kneifel from Pierce, and he takes care of his first batter, Ty Spalding. Grounds out to second.
It's one thing that the Thunder has done tonight that the Colts have done a little bit of, but they've been a little bit inconsistent, is shutting the door after a scoring inning. And, you know, it's okay to give up the scoring inning, whether it be 1, 2, or even in some cases like last game, 7 runs. But the trick would be to come right back and put a 0 up on the board the next inning. And so that's exactly what Mr. Neifel did. He had struggled through a couple innings and threw a 0 up there. So it's real important, and I think the Northeast pitchers are doing a good job of kind of limiting the damage, if you will, and kind of keeping the Colt hitters at bay here tonight. So they're doing a good job, and it looks like Brooks is picking up right where Hayden Magnuson left off.
He's going against Ryan Clark at the plate. He was hit by a pitch back in the first.
This kid, he's their catcher. You know, he's wearing that 49. It's always kind of cool to see those crooked numbers on these catchers. And the kid's filthy from head to toe, and he just looks like a ball player. You know, we used to call those kids, and it was not an insult. It was actually a compliment. But we used to call them dirt bags, and this kid fits that to a T. This kid's dirty, nasty, and he likes to play this game.
We'll see if he can put his bat on the ball here. Again, hit by pitch. He ended up stealing a base when he was on the base path. No surprise. Here's the 2-2. Big cut. Catcher dropped it, so I have to play it first, and there's the out.
Strike 3 to Ryan Clark.
Gibran Murtaza.
This is one of our Dubois kids. Again, he's just the kid where I got a really cool chance to spend some time with his dad this afternoon, and really brought me up to speed on the whole program and the concept and some of the things that the kids have to do to get here and to, you know, make this work for them. And again, we had mentioned early in the telecast that a lot of these kids aspire to play college baseball in the United States, and the 18 and under team that Coach Fish runs, they had 6 Division I signs last year. So certainly whatever they're doing is working. If that's the concept and that's the goal, some of those kids are reaching their goals, and that's really cool to see coming from Australia, Dubois, United Arab Emirates, wherever they're coming from, but they want to come to the United States and play college baseball.
The 3-0 pitch comes in for a strike.
Count to 3 balls and 1 strike on center fielder Mercosa.
Check down to first base umpire. Said he held off.
First on a walk. 2 outs, man on first. Brings up third baseman
Flynn McGahan reached on air in the second. It was the only run that came around to score so far for the Colts.
It's really interesting getting back to the thought of the kids coming over and playing this level, this type of baseball. And it's a little bit more like playing in the minor leagues than it is in college, because there's absolutely no break. They practiced today at 2 o'clock. They practiced till about 4. They got their stuff together, came to the ballpark, and played this doubleheader. A lot like pro ball. They've been living out of the hotel for the last week and a half. They've been traveling, needless to say, coast to coast, literally, where they started the trip in Los Angeles, playing in San Bernardino, and then traveling all the way to New York, where their season will end, or at least this particular trip will end here. And I believe they said that would be on the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. So, or August 8th, I'm sorry. So they go July 23rd to August 8th, living out of the suitcase, eating at the hotel or at the local burger shop. So it's a grind, and I think the kids are doing a great job.
And that is something you have to factor in when you talk about these games, but you might be able to give us that perspective too from when you play in the minors and you play game after game. How does that wear on you, not only physically but psychologically, when you're not living in your home and your comfort, you're eating that hotel food and it's just day after day after day?
It's an absolute grind. I'll never forget the first season where I played in pro ball.
Nice liner to the left, route number 3.
Yes. We'll finish this
we'll
thought here after the break.
Save that thought. We'll be back. 7-1 is your score. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on.
Determination, hard work, patience, and persistence. These are characteristics that make a champion. These same characteristics make a great Nebraskan.
Midwest Bank proudly supports and congratulates the athletes that have accomplished the honor to compete in the state track meet.
We are also there for the Nebraskans that have fought the flood, cleaned up after the devastation, and answered the call when others were in need.
Communities coming together.
Athletes giving it all.
That is Nebraska strong.
You can always bank on Nebraskans.
Need high-speed internet? Want the best in TV programming? There's no need to make countless calls to 1-800 numbers to get the services you want. Get both TV and internet with just one call to me, Wes, at Satellite Central. Everyone's needs are different, and we can help you find the best option for high-speed internet. And we've been providing TV programming from Dish and DirecTV for over 20 years. We have a local team of installers that you know and can trust. So make one call to us at Satellite Central.
And welcome back. We'd like to remind you that this broadcast is helped made possible by the Norfolk Auto Center, Northeast Nebraska's volume dealer, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always. Norfolk Auto Center. Brandon Axamit, Saul Sotero with you for all of the action. It is 7-1, your official score on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard. Certified athletic trainers, physical therapists, and highly trained providers working together to repair and care for sports medicine injuries right here in Norfolk. Well, Saul, we were talking about the grind that your experience in the minors or in the major leagues, and also which is a little similar to what these Colts are dealing with on this tour. Care to continue to add that insight where you left off?
It really is. And, you know, I was kind of alluding to the first year where we made a deep run into the college baseball playoffs. We actually got to play for the national championship in the NEIA College World Series that year. And within days of the last pitch of the World Series was the draft. So I was taken in the 10th round by the San Diego Padres, and I just reported to their camp. Their rookie camp that year was in Spokane, Washington. So the next day I found myself in Spokane, Washington at minicamp, and then the grind really started right there. We played, I think, 76 games in 78 days, every single day, anywhere from Boise, Idaho to Bend, Oregon, Spokane, Washington. We're on the bus. I saw so many sunrises in the Pacific Northwest. I don't care if I ever see another one, at least on my terms, that is, but it's just an absolute grind. So to think these kids are traveling where they did internationally. I know a lot of the parents were interested in hearing our telecast or watching our telecast, and they've already, it's going to be first thing in the morning here. The clock is totally tilted, so I know there's some change there for the kids, a little bit of exhaustion there, the travel, the road trips. They're going to end up in New York, for heaven's sakes. That's halfway across the country, even from here. So the grind that you feel in the minor leagues where you're eating out of a bag, you know, the 99-cent heart attack, the bumpy hotel beds, the shaky air conditioning, whatever it is that it might be. There's no time to feel sick. There's no time to feel tired. You're hitting the ballpark every day, and it sounds glamorous and it sounds sexy, but be quite honest with you, it is an absolute grind.
Well, these Colts are battling through just that and playing quite well, all things considered. 7-1 the score as Zion Gingwer is at the plate. Any favorite memories? I'm sure there were a ton from your time on the road. One that sticks out to you that's family audience friendly?
We got back to that Twitter and the cell phones, but let's just say we're real happy that those things didn't exist a lot of times. But, you know, just the camaraderie, playing with guys. My best friend in the minor leagues was a kid by the name of Butch McKeon. He was a right-handed knuckleball pitcher from Madison, Wisconsin. Just a beautiful kid right off the farm. He's just strong as strong can be. Got to spend some time with Butch. Several of my guys have gone on to play and have good careers in the major leagues. Sandy Alomar, Robbie Alomar, Carlos Baerga, Scott Sanders, Andy Bennis was our #1 pick. You know, just some of these guys and watching their career and being able to kind of catch up with them at the ballparks. One of my managers that I absolutely cherish was Bruce Bochy, who's going to call it a career this year. And then playing for Boach was really something special because the guy was absolutely no nonsense. You know, he was a country man from I believe West Virginia, had that big southern drawl, which he's taken to the Bay Area, which is absolutely hilarious. But he was an absolute no nonsense manager. You get the job done. Your job was to get the job done. Going back to that first year of rookie ball, I was a starting pitcher in college. I get to rookie ball and they make me the closer. So I'm used to pitching once a week, maybe in college, and all of a sudden in my first week of pro ball, I had 4 saves and a win after the first 6 days. And I remember calling my dad, which was on a payphone with your, you know, whatever number you had to dial in just to get the long distance service, and telling Dad, well, I'll never make it. They expect me to pitch every day. But you know what? You learn how to do it. You learn how to regulate your time. You learn how to eat right. You know, you learn how to get your rest. And again, I think these kids from the WBS Colts are really getting an education that you couldn't get anywhere else, and it's kind of cool to watch.
We have Cole Eaton on first. He drew the walk. Now Eli Small at the plate. 1 down here. The bottom of the 4th.
I got a chance to run into Bruce Bochy at spring training this year. I went out to see my son-in-law play with the Kansas City Royals, and Boch was obviously managing in his last year with the Giants, and got to spend some time with him and had some laughs with him, and that was really cool. And that, I think, is the most cherished aspect of playing this game and getting to, you know, see some of these guys. Certainly watching my son-in-law Jake pitch is really neat for us, and kind of chewing on the same dirt and, you know, some of the same guys. Not very many, I might add, but some of those guys are still around. The assistant general manager in Boston is Eddie Romero Jr. I coached with his dad, and little Eddie was like 10 years old when he started coming around. Now he's second in command in Boston.
Wow. Well, that one drops too. We'll give a hit on that one.
The ball seemed to carry a little bit there. I thought the left fielder thought he had a bead on that, and ball just carried and carried, ended up dropping into the corner there.
And just was kind of trailing away from him. So runners now on first and second. Double from Eli Small. Ben Bramer now at the plate. Low and in the dirt, but that one blocked by Clark.
If you've never gone to spring training and stayed at the Motel 6 in Yuma, Arizona, then you just haven't lived, my friend. And
Well,
I spent
apparently
many a nights there.
I'm putting it on the bucket list then
That's
now.
right.
I'm trusting what you're saying.
And my roommate was 15-year veteran shortstop Jose Valentin. And I tell you what, we had some great times together.
Motel 6, Yuma, Arizona. Jotted it down. Spring training.
I don't know if it's still there, to be honest with you. And if it is, man, I'm telling you, that place was on fumes back in the mid-'80s. So I can't imagine what it looks like now.
3-0 delivery. Throw back, and now we have a rundown. And the tag is off, and we have another score. Cole Eaton got himself out of trouble there.
Boy, he did. He got lucky there, but boy, he sure is a physical-looking, athletic kid, isn't he? Once he decided to come to the plate, he really motored down that line, kind of put a little pressure on the catcher, and the catcher ended up dropping the ball there. But not the best heads-up play because it's a nice snap throw, but they just couldn't close the deal with the rundown.
Another look at it here. So 3-1 here to Bramer. Foul straight back, full count.
That's 3 times, buddy. You're not a cat. You got on 9 lines.
And laid off that one. Bramer draws the walk.
I honestly believe the hotels that these kids with the Colts are staying at are probably a little nicer than the Motel 6 back in the day, so that certainly helps. But, yeah, definitely you had to get your rest and fight for the shower. And I remember the the fight was for the hot water. So the first one up got the hot water. And, you know, I remember talking with Jose Mota Jr., who was the great Manny Mota's son. Ball's hit down the line there.
High ball.
Couldn't
Still alive.
close on it. But anyway, Jose Mota Jr.'s son, Jose Mota Jr., and he was with the Dodgers, and he said that Dodgers back in that day had the barracks, if you remember. So they had the old military barracks where they'd bring all their players in, and they'd have to sleep military style in the barracks. So I think the Motel 6 was a little bit of an upgrade even from that, but interesting at best.
Well, you have Bramer make it to second.
Things have changed quite a bit in the minor leagues, and needless to say, in the major leagues, just watching my son-in-law do some of the things that they do, and the technology that they're using, and the computers, and the exit velocity, which I had to Google to figure out what that was. We'd never heard the term, and now they're showing the launch angle and some of these things that I think we used to call it hard hit, but now they call it launch angle or whatever they're doing. But yeah, the game certainly has evolved.
I'm going to say, are you a big advanced metrics or analytics guy or whatever the term is now? Believe in that stuff? Sabermetrics, I believe, is the official term.
Another ball hits the
as well.
turf there for the Colts. I'm not really, and I'm out of baseball for the most part. I do a lot of work with the kids and try to keep some of the programs, the police athletic program in Omaha going and that type of thing. But that kind of left me behind, and it's definitely a game for. The computer geeks are really in charge of the game these days, and it's kind of cool because my son-in-law is now in Oakland, and they're renowned for their Moneyball. They learned, the movie was, well, if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie about how they scout using techniques that had not been used to date. And, they try to get the most money out of their guys for what they can do. And Billy Bean is the manager in Oakland. So I'm kind of looking forward for Jake to play for Billy and see what they're doing over there, and see exactly what this Moneyball is. Because when you're playing in those small markets, you have to get the most out of your team. And Oakland is certainly one of those teams where their payroll is, gosh, it's probably less than half of what some of the payrolls are, and they're right in the hunt. So whatever they're doing, it's working, and I hope Jake kind of gets in there and gets dirty with them, and they make a long run into the playoffs. It's possible. It's a tough road, but it's possible.
Well, that'll be interesting to get his insight on things once he's experienced that, then can pass that on to you, and then you can say you're a sabermetrics guy yourself.
That's right. Absolutely. I will tell you a great story. A buddy of mine is the pitching coach for the San Diego Padres. I think he's in Double-A, but he had one of his prospects go into the bullpen and throw a bullpen, and within minutes the front office was calling because they had some type of a camera on the kid. There's a nice hard hit ball. Is that Magnuson?
Magnuson, yep, RBI. Gonna bring in 2.
Well hit, Hayden, with runners on base, squared it up right over the shortstop's head. Nice job, young man. But to get back to my thought, within minutes, the front office in San Diego was calling the pitching coach in Double-A, which I believe they were either in Birmingham or someplace like that, and commenting about the lack of rotation on the prospect's curveball because they were watching the bullpen and analyzing the spin of the curveball from San Diego. Now, that game left me behind, my friend. I promise you that.
Oh, my. Well, here's a pass ball play at the plate, potentially not even. Kneifel comes around.
So maybe it was meant to be where you just got to get out of the game before they have to teach you stuff like that. And my buddy said it was real hard to listen to somebody in San Diego talking about the pitcher that he was standing in front of coaching, And I guess we used to just tell the kid to tighten the curveball up and throw it a little harder or do whatever, but those guys actually had the spin ratio from over 2,000 miles away. So you can imagine where the game has evolved to.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Borgman at the plate. Magnuson advances to third.
It's really hard to tell the kids to pull back. It's 11-1. They're out here trying to do what they can. You certainly want to get your buddy an RBI, but at some point, those balls are kind of flying around. I know the Colts are struggling a little bit, but it looks like probably this 5th inning will be it if they can maintain that 10-run lead.
That drops. Run scores, and Borgman ends up on second.
Borgman advances to second.
So now 5 runs for the Thunder in this inning.
Brings up left fielder Kyle Weaver.
There's that crooked number that we kind of talked about staying away from, and they had put up such a nice third inning there by flashing a 0, and then all of a sudden they get right back to a 5 spot here in the bottom half and got themselves in a little bit of trouble with 1 out here.
Kyle Lure at the plate. Lure actually looking for his first hit of the game. Struck out in the first, flew out in the third. See what he can do here. Got him with the inside heat.
That's the way to do it, young man. Throw that thing under those hands. Just don't wish it there. Put it there. Put it right where you want it, and good things are going to happen. You throw the ball with a wish and a prayer, well, good luck. But throw that thing firm and with some conviction and let it fly.
Gotta throw it in to win.
That's right.
I heard that somewhere.
Absolutely. They'll write that down. Should put that on a T-shirt.
There we
I
go,
could make some money with that.
I like it. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 down. Here in the bottom of the 4th.
Hit him.
And he'll take his base after being hit by the pitch.
You know, with these new $500 rocket launchers that the kids are swinging, you know, the game has evolved a little bit to the ball to be kind of, you know, stay away from the inside part of the plate. And I certainly can see it, and this is one reason why, again, I was talking to Coach Fish today about scouting internationally, where, you know, the aluminum bats certainly play into it at any level, here in Nebraska or in Dubai or Australia or wherever they are, but it's really difficult for the scouts to scout the talent anymore because you have to figure out some way of an equation to take away the aluminum bat, put a wooden bat in the kid's hands and see if he can still be productive. And a lot of these guys can't do it. And, you know, we left a lot of guys behind in the low minor leagues because they just couldn't make that transition because they were used to hitting the ball off the label into the gap. And all of a sudden now the ball's off the label and it's not even making it to the second baseman. And they have to learn how to adjust, how to keep their hands inside the baseball, how to barrel the ball, as Mr. Hurdle says in Kansas City there. So it's just ways that they learn how to play this game and evolve. And then, Lord willing, if they want to make it to the next level, college, or possibly make pro ball, you really have to learn to use your hands, how to use the bat, how to barrel the ball. But scouting is so difficult at the amateur level based on the aluminum bat equation, and I don't think anybody's really solved it.
Well, and the debate, too, is we have another pass ball. Runners will advance to second and third. And the majors are, you know, the balls being juiced or not juiced or whatever the debate is. Where do you stand on that, if you have a thought on if the balls are being doctored or whatever?
It'd be very hard to prove. However, you're watching balls fly out of the stadium at an alarming rate. I think last year the Yankees set the standard for the record for the most home runs by a team, and I believe this year the Minnesota Twins are right on target to beat the record by over 50 home runs. So it's hard to prove. I know, again, talking to Jake and you know, him mentioning a little bit about how hard the baseballs are. They have absolutely no seams whatsoever, so getting the ball to drag or tilt or move is difficult. God forbid to slide or to move around the plate. But I don't know that it'd be a one heck of a conspiracy theory if that were the case. And certainly, what's the old commercial where chicks dig the long ball, you know? But I noticed the pitchers' numbers are up. You know, the ERAs are up, and I don't know what it has to do with, because the velocities are considerably harder than they've ever been. The pitchers, Jake and some of his team, throwing 98, 99 miles an hour. I was watching Chapman the other night throwing 101 miles an hour, and those guys are still standing in there and hitting the ball out of the park. So there's certainly the body armor has a lot to do with it, where they're not afraid to get hit by a pitch because, before the Bob Gibsons or the Ron Guidrys, the Roger Clemens, they'd smoke you in the ribs and you'd get off the plate. Now you got rib protectors and elbow protectors and wrist guards and padded batting gloves. They'll stand right on the plate. They're not afraid to get hit.
Talk about not being afraid. How about that snag by the pitcher?
Beautiful snag there. Kind of made a pitch and made a play. So he's getting through it. Whatever the coach told him there, it must have worked because he got that quick out.
I believe that's Gibran Murtaza who's coming in relief.
Yes.
So now Ben Bryant, as the Thunder have batted through the lineup here in the fourth.
I've kind of noticed, too, the Thunder are not being quite as selective with their pitches. They're kind of letting the barrel fly, if you will, and certainly it's time. They're up a few runs. They're trying to, as they say, let the big dog eat, and I think they're trying to put one into the seats out there, and I don't blame them. They're up a few runs, and they can sit on a pitch if they have to here, but they're certainly not as disciplined as they were at the start of the game.
0-2. Murtaza sits him down.
That's the way to do it. Mr. Murtaza got through that inning, and he did a good job doing it.
So you have 5 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left on base. 12-1's your score. We'll be back top of the 5th.
Nebraska is prime country for farming corn, beans, and now wind energy. For landowners interested in hosting a wind turbine, this doesn't mean giving up a lot of land. A wind turbine and its access drive will only occupy about 1/2 of an acre, leaving the rest of the land usable for world-class Northeast Nebraska farming. That half-acre used to harvest the wind will also help educate school children and improve area roads with additional tax revenue. To learn more, email haystack@tradewindenergy.com. Sponsored by Tradewind Energy.
Need high-speed internet? Want the best in TV programming? There's no need to make countless calls to 1-800 numbers to get the services you want. Get both TV and internet with just one call to me, Wes, at Satellite Central. Everyone's needs are different, and we can help you find the best option for high-speed internet. And we've been providing TV programming from Dish and DirecTV for over 20 years. We have a local team of installers that you know and can trust. So make one call to us at Satellite Central.
Wind energy means opportunity. Did you know that a local wind energy project would usher in millions of new tax dollars to the county and school taxing districts, and increased funds allow schools to invest in quality education programs, technology, facility development, and even renovations? Funds can be used as needed to improve our schools and the learning environment for our children. To learn more about how wind energy is good for Northeast Nebraska schools, email haystack@tradewindenergy.com. Sponsored by Tradewind Energy.
And welcome back, top of the 5th inning. I'd like to remind you this broadcast help made possible by Midwest Bank. You're busy? Midwest Bank can make your personal and business banking easier with mobile banking. Log on to MidwestBank.com to find out more. Brandon Axum, Saul Soltero with you as the Northeast Thunder leading the World Baseball Showcase Colts 12-1 here in the top of the 5th, and we have Cole Eaton on the mound. And you can already tell he has some velocity.
This young man has a good arm. His mechanics are a little quick, and he's a little bit out of control. He's probably a little bit juiced up here late as the night got on him, but he's got a good arm.
So 4 balls. Eating a little time to warm up, but Brendan Eberle takes first. Colin Bianchi at the plate.
This is kind of a metro kid. You can see the difference in the velocity and the arm angle there. I was talking to Coach Fish a little bit earlier, and he said that was one of the things that they had run into on their tour with some of the kids in Los Angeles and a couple kids in Las Vegas that could really run it up there. And you can see that this young man certainly has a live arm.
No balls, 2 strikes, so he quickly gets out in front of Bianchi.
Hey, the catcher's just working hard. He's blocking balls, and he's, again, I said it's kind of been a long night. I mean, it's the bottom of the last inning of the second game, and I'm assuming it's going to be a 10-run, but, and he's still running out there and working hard, talking with the pitchers, blocking baseballs, which, you'd think after 10-run lead here as late in the night as it's getting, you just olay that one, just let it go through. And no, he's blocking everything. He's hustling, and he's running the infield from behind the plate there, and it's really cool to watch. Just another example there of just, he did not have to pop out like that and try to block that ball, and started doing a great job of it.
And that's Eli Small, the young man you're complimenting. So Omaha product pitching to Omaha product.
That's right. I think those kids have thrown a few innings together by the way they're working.
Bianchi gets a piece of that one, stays alive.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
And rings him up for out number 1.
It's another thing that's kind of neat and interesting with amateur baseball, especially at this level where the kids are just learning. But to see a kid like Bianchi, he started the game on the mound, and he's moved around the infield and the outfield, and he's still hitting for himself and getting his reps in. I love to see those versatile kids that can play a lot of positions. And, I know one of the things that we used to emphasize at the Nebraska Baseball Academy is to, play lots of sports. We wanted to see those kids who were wrestling and God forbid, playing the guitar. We wanted the point guard. We wanted the quarterback. We wanted all those kids to be playing third base or be playing shortstop on a Friday night against Texas. We knew if they had been through what they've been through, whether on the wrestling mat or we wanted them to have the ball in their hand with less than a minute to play and the game on the line. We know that they were our guys. So some of these kids that specialize in a sport so early in their career, it just doesn't sit well with me because I love the versatility of some of these kids, some of the things they can do. I can remember on some of the rainouts where a kid would pull out his guitar and just be able to play anything on his guitar. I played with Monty Brooks. I think Monty Brooks was from University of Santa Barbara, if I'm not mistaken, and he could play anything on his guitar. And I'll never forget, I went over, I said, Monty, where did you learn how to play the guitar? And he said, my mom insisted that I play the piano and the guitar. And she insisted that I got done shooting baskets or playing baseball, and I came in and played the guitar. And I thought that was great. I'm very good friends with Jeremiah Searles. He's a former Husker lineman, and now he's with the Buffalo Bills. And just this big, huge mountain of a man, 6'8", 300 pounds, and he was in every school musical through high school. And you think, oh, we're not going to do that. Man, this kid just loved that, and he loved being part of that. And I thought that was really great. So to see the versatility of these kids, don't keyhole your kids. Don't put all their eggs in one basket. Make lots of pillars for them with music and an instrument, the piano, the guitar, baseball, basketball. Put them in the future business leaders. Put them on the, whatever it's going to take. But gosh, don't just limit them, because if that career just happens to fall, then they will have nothing to fall back on. And you need these kids to just be versatile as can be. There's kids that learn how to change brakes and change the oil, where all we were doing is I was playing ball day and night. These kids that learn these skills, it's so great to watch the versatility of the kids these days. I get the call from the soccer mom or the Little League dad says, we're thinking about quitting everything and just playing this sport. And boy, I could not disagree more. Don't do it. Stay versatile. Get into a good church program. Get into a good mentoring program. There's just so many different things that the kids can be doing. And I just love it when you see that versatile kid that can play shortstop and then sit down and pound out some notes on the piano. That is just awesome.
And it seems like that's where it's trending more as well, in terms of coaches that you're hearing echoing those thoughts. Because back when I was in high school, roughly 10 years ago, there was probably about half the baseball team where they're in the cages in fall, thinking, oh, we're 6 months away and we're getting ready for baseball. And it definitely seems like there's been a paradigm shift that's not the way to approach things for all the reasons you just said.
you're just seeing these kids. Well, that was just real nice pitching there. That was a good game there. I think that's probably it. The 10-run rule is going to be plugged in here. But again, real proud of the kids. The WBS Colts, they showed themselves well here. They have nothing to be ashamed of. This is a great night of baseball in Northeast Nebraska, and I enjoyed spending the day with you, my friend.
Appreciate it very much, Saul, and hopefully it's not the last time. We'll get together for some more baseball down the line. We're going to wrap things up, though, as well with our post-game show. We'll have interviews, top plays, and all that fun stuff. 12-1, though, is your final. We'll be back to wrap things up.
I am Kelsey Kreinert, and I am a family nurse practitioner. I currently practice in the Faith Regional Physician Services Pierce Family Medicine Clinic. I care for the whole family, and I thoroughly enjoy family practice, but I do have special interests in women's healthcare and pediatrics. I believe that providing high-quality care often requires a team-based approach. We're very fortunate that Faith Regional has a wide network of specialists right here in Northeast Nebraska who are willing to lend their expertise and provide top-notch care for our patients right here at home. I would like patients to know that I will take the time to listen to their story. I will take the time to get to know them individually, and it is truly my honor to earn their trust and to have the privilege of providing care for them.
Need high-speed internet? Want the best in TV programming? There's no need to make countless calls to 1-800 numbers to get the services you want. Get both TV and internet with just one call to me, Wes, at Satellite Central. Everyone's needs are different, and we can help you find the best option for high-speed internet. And we've been providing TV programming from Dish and DirecTV for over 20 years. We have a local team of installers that you know and can trust. So make one call to us at Satellite Central.
At Shop Easy, we like to make all ages smile. From farmers to truckers to Shop Easy future customers. We make sure we have a large selection of food, snacks, beverages, and incidentals to make your break in your day convenient and courteous. With easy parking 24/7. We can accommodate the night shift, the early morning workers, fishermen, and travelers. Shop Easy, south of Yankton, is owned and operated by the Santee Sioux Nation.
I'm Angie Smetny. I'm a family nurse practitioner at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine in Norfolk. It's becoming more and more important to focus on preventative medicine, and that's why primary care, which is what we do in family medicine, is so important, because we want to try to prevent things like a heart attack and a stroke and diabetes and things like that through testing, whether it be lab results or just checking your blood pressure once a year, to make sure that we don't need to do more for you to help prevent certain things from happening. I know what it's like to be a busy mom and a busy working mom. I'm always willing to work with people, especially in the rural agricultural community with farmers. I know that they're not going to want to be seen in April and September and October when their schedules are the busiest, and I'm always willing to work with that and move things around so that they're getting seen in a timely manner when it works for them, and also when we need to see them to keep them healthy.
At Norfolk Auto Center, they work hard to give their customers the best value around. Plus, they offer a 5-day money-back on any vehicle priced over $5,000 and a 30-day exchange period on any pre-owned vehicle over $5,000, so you can buy with confidence. Call or stop in today. They are conveniently located at 1123 South 20th Street in Norfolk, or shop them online at norfolkchevy.com.
My name is Michaela Small. I work at Faith Regional Physician Services at Humphrey Family Medicine, and I am a family nurse practitioner. My care philosophy ever since I started nursing, my favorite one has always been patients don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that that really embodies who I am as a provider. I can treat your chronic conditions as well as your acute illnesses. I think it's a common misconception in rural medicine that we're only there for the acute stuff, but we're also there for the long term with all of your health conditions. I'm really excited to be a rural healthcare provider. I think that was my goal from the get-go. I love living in a small town, and so in order to make a small town thrive, we need different services, and I am excited to be somebody to bring in the medical and healthcare service to the community which I live and work.
Okay, that's it. Done. Stop. Partnership. It's more than a handshake in a farm field. These are cliches and conventions, and we're here to break them. We want to do the work that needs doing, to take on your challenges together. Let us help move your operation forward. We promise to be the partner you need, not the one you're used to. Honest.
I'm Dr. Tim Davey. I work at Norfolk Family Medicine with Faith Regional Physician Services in Norfolk, Nebraska. One of the things that I feel like my patients can expect from me is that I really will listen to them. I will pay attention to not only what their needs are, but to whatever degree they want, how they fit into the context of their family, which is also unique as well. So I really try to craft what I do to the patient and to their family the way an artisan would create something. My role is to collaborate with them, to help them understand the kinds of decisions that will make them healthy, that will make their families healthy. So there's a trust factor in that relationship that's very powerful in actually helping them to make good choices.
And welcome back here to Memorial Field in Norfolk, Nebraska. Wrapping things up, the Northeast Thunder get the 12-1 victory over the World Baseball Showcase Colts. Joining me first for our T.O. Haas coaches interview, Scott Magnuson. Coach, 12-1 against international foes. How you feeling about your team's performance?
You know, it felt pretty good. The boys come out and played some baseball. It was pretty clean baseball. They put the ball in play. Didn't make any errors, I don't think. So we had a nice job as a team.
And last year, it was just a one-run game that they got you on. So I guess if you want to call it revenge, you got a little bit of payback, and you did it with 10 running them. So how does that feel to show what kind of talent that this area has?
You know, it feels pretty good, I guess. You know, we had a lot of boys step up and played some nice baseball tonight. So we had some good pitching. We didn't get ourselves in trouble, and we made plays when we had to. So it was a nice win for them. So.
Talk about the experience as a whole as well, and what goes into making something like this happen, to be a part of the WBS Colts basically tour from LA to New York.
So this all started about probably 3 months ago when the phone call happened, and you know, we reached out to you guys right off the get-go, and we appreciate you guys coming out and really help putting this whole thing together. And it was a nice community effort with the Norfolk Sports Council, the Norfolk Visitors Bureau, all the people that helped sponsor this event tonight to make it happen. It was just a great night, enjoyable weather, just a nice night for baseball. And we appreciate all you guys did for us. So.
Well, it's our pleasure to be here. I'll ask you one more question before I talk to our player of the game, who's your son. So Hayden Magnuson, he's one of the players who made plays for you tonight. What can you say about what he did not only on the mound but at the plate, and what he does in general as a baseball player?
Well, you know, he's got the nicest hair on the team, I think. So,
which is important. Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, that's really nice. So, you know, he's worked hard all season long and stuff. So I think, you know, it was a good effort for him, and, you know, and he loves the game. So it was good for him.
Well, Scott, appreciate the time, and congrats on the win.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's talk to the player with the best hair on the team, Hayden Magnuson. How do you get hair like that? What goes into taking care of that?
You know, just shampooing it, keeping it clean.
What kind of shampoo?
Head and Shoulders.
All right, Head and Shoulders. You heard it there. Now, you are a player of the game. We'll start off with what you did on the mound. 3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts. What did that do for you, and how did you feel starting in a game of this magnitude where you're playing against talent, you're not quite sure what they bring to the table?
Oh, it feels good. You know, you just come out here, you got to try your best, just like any other game.
Well, then at the plate, you went 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. What were you seeing out there that allowed you to have such a productive night at the plate?
You know, it's one of those light games. You got to show out. Ball is coming in great, seeing it great.
Now, what does this mean for you moving forward? I know things are kind of winding down in terms of summer baseball, but this is a fun way to end it, if you will. I don't know if you have more games to play, but you ended it on a high note, certainly.
You know, just keep going through the offseason, keep working hard, keep working.
Any advice that you have for young, aspiring baseball players out there if they want to grow up and not only have sweet hair like you, but also be a good baseball player? What would you tell them?
You know, just keep working. Even if you're struggling, just keep your head up, keep working hard.
All right, that is Hayden Magnuson, our player of the game. 3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts. He also goes 2 for 3 at the plate and has 3 RBIs. We'll take another quick break, come back to wrap things up here from Norfolk.
Considering a suspension lift kit or leveling kit for your truck or Jeep? T.O. Haas Tire can help you rise above whatever lies across your path with lift kits by BDS and Zone, backed by the best warranties in the business. Our hardcore 4x4 division carries and installs lifts, lockers, winches, springs, shocks, everything you need to make your 4x4 stand out in a crowd. So go ahead and attack those trails and rivers with the help of T.O. Haas Tire.
Haas Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
Determination, hard work, patience, and persistence. These are characteristics that make a champion. These same characteristics make a great Nebraskan.
Midwest Bank proudly supports and congratulates the athletes that have accomplished the honor to compete in the state track meet.
We are also there for the Nebraskans that have fought the flood, cleaned up after the devastation, and answered the call when others were in need.
Communities coming together.
Athletes giving it all.
That is Nebraska strong.
You can always bank on Nebraskans.
At Cornhusker Nissan, bragging is not our style, but that doesn't mean our customers can't.
Everyone was friendly, no high pressure, was open to my needs as to what was really best for me.
Professional, kind, polite, altogether perfect.
Great customer care before and after the sale.
Great price and awesome car buying experience. Wish all dealerships treated customers like Cornhusker Nissan in Norfolk, Nebraska.
Let us make your visit a memorable one at Cornhusker Nissan.
With the challenges our nation faces as the consumption of gasoline increases, the strategic location of Husker Ag allows this ethanol plant to produce nearly 80 million gallons a year, which requires almost 30 bushels of corn a year. Access to rail distribution and centered in a productive growing area east of Plainview on Highway 20, Husker Ag creates jobs, has on-farm pickup of corn, and supports area schools and organizations. Husker Ag LLC, helping communities grow and proud to be part of Nebraska's production of ethanol.
Determination, hard work, patience, and persistence. These are characteristics that make a champion. These same characteristics make a great Nebraskan.
Midwest Bank proudly supports and congratulates the athletes that have accomplished the honor to compete in the state track meet.
We are also there for the Nebraskans that have fought the flood, cleaned up after the devastation, and answered the call when others were in need.
Communities coming together.
Athletes giving it all.
That is Nebraska strong.
You can always bank on Nebraskans.
And welcome back to Norfolk, wrapping up our post-game show brought to you by Norfolk Auto Center, Northeast Nebraska's volume leader, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always Norfolk Auto Center. Wrapping things up here in Norfolk, we're going to take a look at our top plays of the game. 14-year-old action, the second game of a doubleheader on Monday. Northeast Nebraska Thunder taking on the World Baseball Showcase Colts. Have some good defense by the Colts. And ball knocked down the third baseline, and you have an error that ended up leading to a runner on second. And this is how the Colts would end up scoring their only run of the game in the second. It would end up being 2-1 in the second, but then you have the Thunder who get a double and bring 2 runs across. And really the unfortunate story for the Colts is they were unable to capitalize and had too many errors. Northeast Thunder made a lot of plays. They scored 5 in the second inning. This is how the Colts got out of the second, but the bats of the Thunder were too much. We go to the fourth inning now, and we get in a rundown, and this is a heads-up play. Cole Eaton looked like he was a dead man walking, but slides across the plate. That was the first run of 5 in the fourth inning, and here's our player of the game, Hayden Magnuson, who went 2 for 3 at the plate. That is a 2 RBI single, bringing home his buddies Brooks Kneifel and Ben Bramer. This fourth inning really is where the Thunder took complete control. Pass ball there. Kneifel comes home. And this will be the last out of the game striker of the inning, rather. Colby Anderson goes down swinging. Had little consequence, though, because the Northeast Nebraska Thunder 10-run the World Baseball Showcase Colts 12-1. I'm Brandon Axmit. Those are the top plays. Well, again, thank you for tuning in for all the action here this evening. It was a lot of fun being able to bring youth baseball to all of our viewers here on News Channel Nebraska. Special thanks to Saul Soltero sharing his baseball wisdom with us, as well as special thanks to our terrific camera crew, Will Ryan in the truck as well. It was a perfect night for baseball, but that is going to do things here from Norfolk. We're signing off. I'm Brandon Axmit. We'll see you next time on News Channel Nebraska.